if you go to a physical therapist for low back pain and they tell you your hamstrings are too flexible and you need to work on your core in order to improve your symptoms, this might be a useful representation to look at to see why certain exercises may be effective in order to get symptom relief. So we have three models here. The black triangle represents the pelvis. The green line is the hamstrings on the back side of the pelvis coming down. On the front of the pelvis, we have the red line representing the abdominals running up. So let's look at this representation first. Here we have a pelvis excessively tilted forward. Along with that, we have an increased curve in the lumbar spine. Also, we have lengthened hamstrings and lengthened abdominals, meaning they are unable to move the pelvis out of this stuck forward position. So the goal of our exercises is to move somebody more toward this representation. So what we want to do is we want to target the hamstrings to pull the back side of the pelvis back, and we want to target the abdominals to pull the front side of the pelvis up into this, for lack of a better term, more neutral position. That way the pelvis isn't stuck in this forward position and can move through ranges of motion. One exercise that can accomplish this is a 90-90 hip lift. This may look like a simple and easy exercise, but it's not. It takes practice and effort in terms of attention to detail to make sure you're getting the multiple parts of the exercise correctly. Because if it's not executed correctly, you're not going to get the desired outcome. Now, certain individuals, including myself, may need exercises before this in order to loosen up some areas to where I can execute this correctly. But for now, we're going to pretend like I'm ready for this exercise. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a chair. I'm going to put my heels on the chair with my hips and knees in this 90 degree position. The first part of this exercise is the hip tuck. I'm going to accomplish that by gently digging my heels down into the chair to lift my tailbone slightly up off the floor. I'm going to use my hands to monitor ab tension, because with the hip tuck, I want to make sure my hamstrings are working to accomplish this hip tuck. I don't want to use my abs just yet. So I'm going to use my hands on my stomach to make sure I have a soft belly. If you feel a lot of ab tension when you're completing this hip tuck, you're not doing it correctly. So I'm going to gently dig my heels down. I'm going to slightly lift my tailbone up. And if I get it right, I'm going to feel the backside of my thighs, my hamstrings working. From here, I'm going to hold this hip tuck and complete 5 breath cycles in a very specific manner. The breath cycles, if completed correctly, will get the abdominal tension that we desire. So here's the breath cycle. I'm going to take a silent breath in through my nose. Shouldn't be able to hear it. After the silent breath in, I'm going to do a long open mouth exhale for 5 to 8 seconds. This is challenging. This will take practice for most people in order to accomplish it correctly. So here's what it looks like. And so on. With most individuals, I would suggest working on the hip tuck first, working on keeping a soft belly while you get some hamstring involvement by gently digging the heels down and lifting the tailbone up. Once you got that, then I would incorporate the breathing. Again, this is a very challenging exercise that requires a lot of effort in terms of attention to detail to make sure you're executing it correctly.